From a shoplifting getaway that spiraled into pure highway chaos and a traffic stop that turned into a 100-mile-per-hour drug bust to a family ride that nearly ended in disaster near a campground and much more. Here are the craziest moments when troopers smash harder than the crash itself. Anthony Mojica wasn't some criminal mastermind, just a guy in a black pickup, acting strangely on Interstate 75 during the early hours of June 20th, 2024. Troopers stopped him because he was straddling lanes and clogging up traffic like rush hour came early. But as soon as the troopers caught the scent of unburnt cannabis coming from inside the truck, this sleepy-looking stop took a sharp turn. Mojica's next move would prove he wasn't just impaired, he was also desperate. But speed can only get you so far, and Mojica's line was about to run out. As he approached the northbound ramp to Interstate 75, one Florida trooper stepped in with a maneuver that demanded both timing and guts. When the dust settled, Mojica wasn't just facing a traffic ticket, he was facing multiple felony charges. Troopers recovered cocaine, multiple prescription pills, marijuana in bulk digital scales, and even a loaded Glock 43 inside the truck. His suspended license didn't help his case either. He now faces a long list of charges and an even longer road ahead, this time without a steering wheel. It was late morning on August 7th, 2024, when a Florida Highway Patrol trooper noticed something off about a gray Dodge Charger on Interstate 10. The car wasn't just speeding, it was tailgating a trailer like it was auditioning for a bumper sticker. Then came the weird lane shift, a near exit that turned into a last-second swerve back onto the highway. Whatever the driver was trying to hide, it clearly wasn't going to stay hidden for long.
No, stop. Go back. Bridge area.
Got target, 1033 to Shell. 133 now. 86. You push 50. I'll show you at the 171 westbound. Cover copy 10. Ratio got a 158.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Hey, access over here, Tina.
Hit.
Cover copy 10. Ratio got a...
As officers worked to contain the threat, one maneuver brought the rolling chaos to a halt. It wasn't clean, it wasn't pretty, but it got the job done and left the driver with only one option: run. The manhunt stretched for hours, combing through roads, woods, and even gas stations. But in the end, he was found crouched on the grass shoulder near a campground, exhausted and out of moves. The suspect, Steve Manuel Jr., didn't just rack up charges, he earned them. Among the list were fleeing police drug possession, child endangerment, and ignoring seatbelt and restraint laws for kids in the back. Dehydrated from hours of hiding, he needed EMS before he needed a jail cell. But once he was cleared by doctors, it was straight to Gadsden County Jail. You can only dodge responsibility for so long, eventually it catches up. TBI. It was just before noon on November 20th, 2024, when one Arkansas state trooper noticed something a little off on United States Highway 63, a white Nissan rolling by with expired tags. No big scene, no outrageous behavior, just a quiet little red flag in a sea of traffic. But when the trooper flipped around to confirm what he saw, that Nissan suddenly came alive, blowing past 85 miles per hour like it had something serious to hide. Lights flipped on, sirens followed, and just like that, a minor traffic stop turned into something much bigger. The driver bailed, vanishing into the trees like a ghost on the run, but authorities later identified the driver as Michael Caton Price, thanks to the help of his sister and his terrible habit of leaving evidence behind. Even 2 days later, Price pulled another foot chase when parole officers tracked him to a rural backyard, only to watch him vanish again into the woods. Charges came down hard: felony, fleeing, reckless driving, criminal mischief, and more. When your high-speed escape costs over $2,000 in fence damage and still doesn't work, maybe it's time to rethink your strategy.
Pit. Start 52.
It was the early evening of April 6, 2024, when Georgia State Patrol troopers received an alert about a black Nissan Altima linked to a felony shoplifting case out of Locust Grove. The vehicle was reportedly traveling north on Interstate 75, wearing temporary Tennessee tags that didn't quite match up. Trooper First Class Williams spotted it a few exits up and confirmed the telltale signs, including some damage to the front bumper. But rather than pull over, the suspects made a decision that would send this situation spiraling into chaos.
Up on the 235.
The Nissan didn't just run, it panicked. Lane after lane, the driver made moves that would terrify any rational commuter riding the emergency lane like it was her own private racetrack.
37. Still going. They taking the 285. They taking 285. You know, I'm at the 285. 285.
As the chase reached a critical fork in the road, the suspect made a split-second choice that proved to be her undoing. The resulting mayhem wasn't quiet, and it sure wasn't subtle.
1041, 285. Pit, 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 pit. Pit, pit, pit. Start 52. Pit, 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 pit. Pit, pit, pit. Start 52. Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
When it was all over, both suspects were taken into custody. The driver, Haley Christine Bott, claimed her knee was broken and couldn't move, a problem she didn't seem to have while weaving through traffic minutes earlier. She was transferred for medical care while officers prepared her warrant. Her passenger, Crystal Lachelle King, was sent off to face her own set of charges. Bottom line, stealing might get you in trouble, but trying to outrun the Georgia State Patrol turns trouble into a whole new level of regret.
Get out. What is the car behind us? Bring it. Overturn 1050.
It was just past 9 p.m. on June 9th, 2023, when Cadet A. Benjamin and his training officer spotted something off. A gray Ford Escape wasn't just speeding, it was swerving like the driver had one hand on the wheel and zero interest in the rules. A quick radar check confirmed it was clocking nearly 20 miles over the posted limit. The patrol car flipped around and lit up, but that was all the invitation the driver needed to bolt into the night.
This car, don't get the brakes now. Bring that over here. But that ain't us. You're taking Augusta Avenue. Taking Augusta Avenue. All right, this is the intersection. Just remember, we don't.
After nearly overshooting a turn and flying off the road, the suspect somehow muscled the vehicle back onto the street. But the escape plan didn't account for what was coming next.
Get up there. Oh. Okay, go. You got it. Stop it. Oh, don't hit the curb. Hit him. Hit him. Try and get him before he gets back to the interstate. Right here. Get him. Get out. What is the car behind us? Bring it. Overturn 1050. Stop. See hands! Put your hands out the window! Put your hands out the window now!
After flipping across lanes and slamming into a guardrail, Yolanda Irvine, the driver, was pulled from the wreck with alcohol on her breath and drama on standby. At the hospital, she lied about being pregnant, refused to cooperate, and treated the floor like a stage for her meltdown. But none of it changed the outcome. Her night ended the way it always would, and handcuffs headed for jail. Not all bad decisions come from a high-speed getaway. Some start long before the wheels ever move. On May 29, 2024, a St. Johns County deputy tried to arrest a woman driving a white Ford F-150 in Jacksonville, Florida. She had a warrant, plain and simple, but instead of stepping out, she dug in emotionally and literally. Her refusal turned into ignition, and suddenly a quiet street became the starting line for something much more chaotic.
Yeah, you bring your car and come up here and pin this back.
No, don't you drive off.
No,
don't
I'm
you
driving.
do it. Don't you do it.
I'm going to switch positions. FHP's taking over lead, inside lane, northbound, 90 miles an hour, passing the 334.
The first move to stop the truck didn't land. The suspect's erratic driving and relentless momentum made it clear she wasn't going down easy. and this chase was far from over. That window of chaos didn't last forever. Florida Highway Patrol officers coordinated their timing and took a more decisive approach. With nerves tight and tension thick, they finally found their moment and made it count.
Night 2, pit.
Even with the truck stopped and the driver detained, things kept spiraling. She claimed someone had stolen her identity and insisted she was disabled. Despite her objections, officers followed protocol, kept the cuffs on, and brought her in for medical clearance. After the dust settled, her charges painted a clear picture from fleeing and drug possession to having a stolen gun. This wasn't just a traffic stop gone wrong. It was a full-blown meltdown behind the wheel. It was the evening of July 4th, 2025. Fireworks lighting up the sky, families gathered on porches, and parades winding down across Arkansas. But while most were ending their celebrations, a silver Nissan Altima was just getting started. Springdale police caught wind of something suspicious near Dodd Avenue, where the driver wasn't exactly blending in. By the time the call went out to the Arkansas State Police, this wasn't just another traffic stop. It was the start of something far more reckless. It takes a special kind of recklessness to dive straight into opposing traffic with troopers right on your tail. But what happened once the chase crossed that line didn't leave room for debate. It was the final straw, and our trooper was ready to shut it down fast.
We're down. 25, 10. Copy, please, clear. Copy. CBI, Street and Gillian
Emerson Castellano Diaz, just 19 years old, didn't just try to run. He racked up enough charges to need a separate filing cabinet. Officers found a gun in the vehicle and tacked on everything from felony fleeing to forgery, reckless driving, and resisting arrest. One patrol car got dented in the process, but no one was hurt, which is probably the only lucky break this driver got all night.
Come back. We're getting a good corner one. Come back.
Reckless behavior has a way of turning a night out into a lifelong lesson. On March 6, 2022, a crowd of drivers took over the Greenbrier Mall parking lot, using it as their personal playground. The sound of burning rubber was enough to draw the attention of Georgia State Patrol, and once they showed up, the party ended fast. Most scattered in every direction, but one driver chose to run rather than vanish. That choice would come back to bite hard.
Man, it looks like he's on Greenbrier Parkway going 102 south. Still on Greenbrier, coming up to the board already. driver from Marge Road. Looks like he's been tipping into the tree. Got 2 units on the scene at the moment. Looks like one's at gunpoint.
You need to come back. We're getting you to the parking lot. Come back.
Breaking off, coming back.
Looks like they have 50 parking lot. Stand by. Right here, green car.
That pursuit didn't stretch across counties or highways, but it didn't have to. It ended the moment the BMW collided with something that didn't move. Both suspects were detained on the spot, and the driver was handed off to intake at Atlanta City Jail. Street takeovers might feel untouchable in the moment, but reality has a funny way of showing up, especially in a Crown Vic mirror.
TBI, Charles, Bussy, and Harrison.
It was just after midnight on November 26, 2024, when a black Jeep Renegade casually rolled through a red light at the Fair Park exit ramp. To any passerby, it might have looked like a distracted driver or someone unfamiliar with the area. But what followed made it very clear this wasn't your average late-night wrong turn. One trooper's instincts kicked in, and the moment he flipped on those lights, things escalated far beyond a traffic violation.
World. Unreasonable tag. Black Jeep Renegade. South on Jackson. A light skin, black male, black hoodie. Beats 50, no traffic. Westbound on 18.
And 415.
Southbound on Big Urine. Come up to Charles. TBI, Charles, Bussy, and Harrison. Stay right there!
The man who ran was identified as Charles McCrary Jr., and thanks to that dropped backpack, police had all they needed. A loaded handgun, 4 grams of suspected crack, and documents with his name on them sealed the deal. When his phone rang and his sister unknowingly vouched for him mid-investigation that was just icing on the cake, McCrary is now facing serious charges that include fleeing theft, drug possession, and carrying a firearm during a drug offense. If you're going to run, maybe don't bring a bag full of felonies along for the ride. You know it's going to be a long night when your car hits 145 miles per hour and a state trooper sees it. That's exactly what happened in Fettel Myers, Florida on December 21st, 2023. The suspect, a BMW coupe, flying down the highway like speed limits, were just a suggestion. One trooper tried to intervene, but let's just say the BMW had other plans.
Exiting at the 133.
Eastbound, westbound.
At over 120 miles per hour, troopers had to weigh their options, go in too early, and someone could get hurt. One trooper finally seized his chance, but the move backfired in the worst way. Let's just say his pursuit ended in a place no trooper wants to be. The BMW, battered but not broken, kept pushing forward like it still had something to prove, but another trooper locked in, and Reddy was already lining up the perfect opportunity to shut it all down. The driver, later identified as 21-year-old Cecilia Elise Hoffman, tried to make one last desperate move on foot. That escape didn't last long. EMS was called and a hospital check followed, and after being cleared, she found herself booked into Lee County Jail. Her charges: driving under the influence, fleeing law enforcement, resisting without violence, and reckless driving, all wrapped up in one wild night that could have ended a lot worse. This pursuit had its moments, but trust me, the next one, it's on another level. Make sure you check it out before you miss something even crazier. Thanks for sticking around. Subscribe for more raw and real chase footage.